Hello, I'm Rudy Garza, Chief Customer Engagement Officer at CPS Energy. Oprima Estrella Cero ahora para escuchar en español. Thank you all for joining us this evening for this special town hall, the first in a series of events CPS Energy will host virtually that will allow us to speak with you and answer your questions. Before we start, we want to make sure we're doing all we can to reach our community. And as part of our work, we've launched a television campaign that is highlighting our commitment in both English and Spanish. We're also working on making available more of our resources in additional languages to reach as much of our community as we can. Here's one of those TV spots in Spanish, featuring our Senior Manager of Climate and Sustainability, Carla de la Chapa. You'll see and hear an extended version of this TV spot in English just a little bit later.
Soy Carla y soy parte del equipo de CPS Energy que se enfoca en el medio ambiente. Comenzamos a usar energía renovable hace más de 20 años y ahora San Antonio es el número 1 en Texas y el número 5 en el país en el uso de energía solar. La estrategia Flexible Path continúa nuestra transición hacia un futuro de energía más limpio, mientras asegura que facturas sean asequibles y su energía fiable. Nos preocupamos por nuestro medio ambiente porque San Antonio también es nuestro hogar.
If you weren't able to see the spot, don't worry. You can view them and all our TV spots at our YouTube page. We're excited to connect with you tonight to share key updates about our flexible path, our strategy to incorporate newer and cleaner technologies while balancing our commitment to you. Also joining me tonight is Paula Gold-Williams, President and CEO of CPS Energy, Dr. Chris Eugster, Chief Operating Officer, Krista Davis, Director, Energy Supply and Market Operations Strategy, and Rick Luna, Director, Technology and Product Innovation. For those of you who are joining us on your telephone, you can also watch a video simulcast of this event at facebook.com/CPS Energy or on our website at cpsenergy.com/town hall. We encourage everyone who has joined tonight to submit your questions. We want to hear from you. If you have a question, you can press *3 on your phone keypad at any time, and you will be placed in line to speak. After that, when you hear your name, you will be live on the call and you'll be able to ask your question directly. We will take as many calls tonight as we can. Again, oprima estrella cero ahora para escuchar en español. If you are streaming the event on our website, you can simply type your name and question below the streaming player. If you have a question related to billing or customer service, our dedicated energy advisors are also on standby tonight to help you, and you can call them directly always at 210-353-2222. We are here to help. Paula, today's town hall focus is about our flexible path. But before we start on that discussion, can you provide an overview of what our guiding pillars are and how we base our decisions in everything we do through this lens? Paula, you're on mute.
There we go. Hey, Rudy, thank you so much. I always love talking about what we are passionate about, which is our customers. And we have served San Antonio for 160 years. Really trying to grow with the community, trying to make sure that we are serving everyone and thinking about everyone's ultimate goal, which is basically everybody else. You shouldn't have to think too much about how we provide power. But that said, there are about 3,100 what I call people first champions that work all across San Antonio to deliver power every day, 365. And they are everyone from our frontline employees, our skilled craft union employees, IBEW and NAPE are great leaders in our organization that make sure that we're always responding and thinking about how we can keep your power consistent. And as Rudy mentioned earlier, we have energy advisors. They're not just on the phone taking calls, they are there to help. And that's why they're joining us tonight. But there are many people all across our organization. We have nurses, we have accountants, we have analysts, engineers, just a wide range of policy people and folks that have tremendous background. as we think about how we serve you, it really came clear to us that we also needed to think about what does it mean when we're serving San Antonio? What are our basic value pillars that each and every one of our CPS Energy employees need to think about so we're giving the best service possible? It didn't take us very long, and we actually had some really good input from our board of trustees who are very dedicated. They spent a lot of hours working with us, providing oversight and suggestions and guidance, and that helps us think about everything in balance. So we have 6 primary pillars, and the way that we look at them is we indicate if we're working on an initiative or a strategy, we want to see that we get as much effectiveness in that, in what we're doing. So one of the biggest pillars that we have is affordability. We always want to make sure that our services are extremely affordable. We have among the lowest non-promotional standard rates in the state. And that we believe is extremely important to you, so it's important to us. We keep our costs down, we control our costs. We are looking at everything we do, from how we operate to how we finance our projects, and making sure that we get the very best rates to save you money. So customer affordability is probably one of the biggest ones. The next very biggest one is reliability. We know now in the middle of COVID, there are more people working from home or just really just trying to work through their lives and requirements. So even blinks, people notice blinks. Reliability is extremely important, another big pillar for us. But we have others. Another one is the resiliency. That's kind of a hard one, but what that really means is if there's an outage, how quickly can we get that system back up? And is the design of our system set up that we can do it very well? And sometimes technology helps us with that, but just really, again, our champions do that. Then we make sure that the security of the system of everything we do is important. We protect it. We protect the actual infrastructure itself, and we protect all of the cyber assets that we have. So we make sure that those systems are important. And then the safety. We want to make sure that you, as our customers, the public, our community, our employees, are safe. The ability to push power all throughout San Antonio, from our power plants, our transmission systems, our distribution systems, into your homes and businesses, that takes a lot of effort and focus on safety. And probably one of the value pillars that is getting increasingly more focus across the globe, the nation, the state, and with us, is environmental responsibility. As we're looking at solutions, again, we're trying to make sure that they're affordable, that they're reliable, that they're resilient, that they're secure, they're safe, and then increasingly we're making sure that we can be environmentally responsible and try to get to net zero emissions with the city of San Antonio.
Thank you, Paula, for that overview. It's a great reminder for our community that we do indeed look at these important key pillars to ensure minimal to no disruption to our customers and our community. The flexible path is about applying the tried and true with the new, being open to innovation and pivoting as needed as new technologies emerge. Paula, can you share with us how this idea started and how it aligns with the state of energy today?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we have provided power and we have innovated over time, but the journey's been a little tough because there hasn't been a lot of innovation and technological improvements. But I'd say they really started coming forward about 20 years ago. Before that, a lot of the technologies were fairly consistent. And what you could do is you could just have a playbook, an approach. You knew that you were going to build a plant and it was going to help cover the growth and the everyday needs of people who live in San Antonio. We also, though, were monitoring that wind energy was getting to be a really, new and interesting technology. It was super expensive at first. It is not expensive at all today. But at the time, we saw change starting to come. So we've actually been in the wind business for 20 years. And we've been in the solar business since about the 2012 timeframe. We did a big RFP. And so we actually have a huge amount of renewables in our network today. And we're number one in solar across the state out of all of the other big cities. We saw that change happening. We put together with some input from stakeholders also this ability to look at managing growth and working on programs that help people save energy. And we know that's important to you. If you can save energy, then you can save money. And so we call that our STEP program, our Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program. But as we were watching all this, we started to see, again, people being creative and looking for new energy ideas. And there were thoughts that batteries were going to get better and better. And so in 2017, I decided that I needed to think about, as the CEO, how can we be flexible and really be able to embrace this new technology? Because we always keep the cost managed well. When we want to add new technology, we can blend it in very effectively, but we have to keep embracing it, reaching it, incentivizing other partners to come in and help us launch. We have to be flexible. And that was the whole genesis of this flexible path strategy that is guiding us to think about how can we get to a better system? How, when we're replacing plants, when they're aging out, how do we go after the best solutions that are available to us? Now, I want to applaud the entire CPS Energy team, our 3,100 employees, because they help bring that concept and that strategy to life. And today, tonight, thank you, you're going to hear about some of the things that we've been doing to make sure that we are, in fact, adding more solar, adding more batteries, adding more technology, and trying to get that technology to get better and better and better. But we're blending the tried and the true with the new in a way, again, so we can maintain affordability and maintain reliability for you, because we got to do it seamlessly. That's what you expect us to do. That's what all our professional, talented, skilled, and craft employees do. We're making that transition so it's smooth for you.
Great insight, Paula. I mentioned earlier our television campaign outreach. We'll be showcasing several of our pillars in action with this campaign to inform our community about our work and our commitment to you. Here's an extended version of our TV spot focused on environmental responsibility. Let's roll that tape.
I'm Carla, and I'm on the team at CPS Energy that focuses on the environment each and every day. We know that environmental responsibility is important to you, and we want you to know it's important to us too. As your San Antonio energy experts, we're leading the transition to renewable energy. We've been using wind energy for more than 20 years and solar energy for more than 10 years. We're always evaluating new sustainable technologies for affordability and reliability to power your energy future. In 2019, we launched a battery storage project at the Southwest Research Institute. It stores solar energy for use on our grid, because a challenge of renewables is that the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. We're also working on replacing some of our power plants built in the 1970s by looking around the globe to find the best new energy solutions for you, including adding more solar and energy storage, supported by reliable firming energy sources. It's all part of our flexible path strategy to continue transitioning to a cleaner energy future, in support of the city's goal of full carbon neutrality by 2050, while also keeping your bills affordable and your power reliable. Together, we have been on this journey to take care of the environment for decades. We're proud of closing 2 coal plant units 15 years ahead of schedule. And we are proud of you for using our STEP conservation programs for the past 10 years to save enough energy so we didn't need to build a new power plant. Our 3,100 employees are always listening, learning, and applying our energy expertise. We're committed to working with you towards a more sustainable future, because San Antonio is our home too.
Paula, we know there's a burning question in our community related to our Flexible Path Resource Plan. Before we take our first call-in question, please give us an update on that plan. Paula, you're on mute.
Excuse me. Very good. Thank you. Utilities do resource planning, have done it for decades and decades, particularly when they're building units is when they work on those. And seriously, we haven't built another unit since 2010. Our last unit that we built was, in fact, one of the last coal units that was built in the United States. And that coal unit, in the technology, there's a lot of controversy and interest about it globally, nationally, and locally. And so we very much recognize that it is a plant that runs a lot for San Antonio. It does have all of the standard environmental controls on it, and it does have technology that reduces the emissions of that plant. That said, it still requires a discussion. But in reality, since we haven't built a plant, we don't always or haven't always created a resource plan, again, because we weren't looking to build one. Now, we've gotten a lot of questions about coal over the years, I would say very intensely, probably over the last 5 years. And we were asked questions about, how could we plan? We prepared the resource plan, updated it very recently, and we very much went ahead and went not just at the technical issues, but we looked at options around coal and we looked at bill impact associated with those options. We think we put together a plan that is, it's not the actual course, because we think that the community needs to have a discussion about our actual course. But the document just says, this is how we're looking at different options. Let's have a conversation as San Antonians. Let's think about how we want to move forward in our quest to use more renewables and use more technology. What is the speed that we can move forward to make change and keep everything else going? Now, again, our reliability and all the other issues that we have. So that plan has put out there. We have board members that have asked for it. We have board members that are concerned about it because we've never done this before. We've never put out everything. It's normally been a discrete plan or discrete option. In this case, you can see what our general views are on population growth, what general costs happen around fuel. You can see how we think about, if we do projects, how the spend for different projects occurs. And then again, you can see different options for costs. Now, what we needed time, for our board to look at the detail, to look at the detail of it and get comfortable. And because it is a lot, it is a big document. It's worth a lot of content and discussion, but it's also worth a lot of consideration to make sure that we are focused on the right things. We do, people have talked about this, we do compete, we focus in the competitive market. So some of the information that we have is very competitive. And the importance of that is we provide all the power to San Antonio, so you get the very best cost. But anything that we have extra, we sell out in the open market. When we sell out in the open market for Texas, we get paid for that. Every dollar we get in the open market reduces the amount of funds that San Antonio has to pay. If we don't keep some of that information secure, then people can outbid us, and then we won't be able to optimize the assets and keep costs as well controlled. So the board rightly has a point to ask, are you giving the right information, enough to have thoughtful and helpful conversations and help every citizen understand what we're looking at? But are you also protecting the information that is really kind of outside the spectrum, and it's about another market in the competitive markets? We believe that we've done a good job in balancing that, but again, we want our board to feel comfortable and make sure that they have all of the information that they have. They oversee what we do. They are going to have a conversation tomorrow to talk about any concerns they have, to ask management questions, and again, we'll decide how to move forward. One way or another, we know that this conversation has to get expanded. And so the CPS Energy team will be here for the community, and we will ultimately make our way across the entire community to explain what we're thinking and what we're doing and to get your input. So that's what the story is about our resource plan.
Thank you, Paula. Let's take our first call. Caller is Miss Nancy Hoft. Ms. Hoft, are you with us tonight? Maybe we lost her. Okay, why don't we go to our next caller? Miss Joan Sanchez.
Hello?
Miss Sanchez, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to ask, I had called CPS and I asked for the department about getting, new windows and I had to leave a voicemail, so I just hung up. And I wanted to know, I'm in the process of hiring somebody to put new windows and if y'all have a rebate.
Yes, ma'am. Why don't I turn it over to Mr. Rick Luna?
Okay.
Okay, good evening. And thank you so much for the question.
Yes.
We actually, I have to tell you, we don't have a rebate for window replacement, but I do want to encourage you. It sounds like you're really interested in how to save energy. We do have an audit that we provide our customers, and I think it might be helpful if we could come out to your home and do a walkthrough and help you identify maybe your installation. Maybe you could do something there. Maybe a thermostat, lighting improvements, which can be free. We have LED light bulbs that we offer customers. And so if you don't mind, I think that might be a great place to start is to do that energy audit. And then once you have the windows replaced, we can also help make sure that is done in a way that saves you the most energy.
And Ms. Sanchez, we have your contact information, and Rick and his team will be following up with you, in the very near future to talk to you about our programs. Just a reminder, we're going to take as many live calls tonight as we can. Again, if you have questions, you can press *3 on your phone keypad at any time, and you'll be placed in line to speak. After that, when you hear your name, you'll be live on the call, and you'll be able to ask your questions directly. We also have with us tonight Dr. Chris Euchster, our Chief Operating Officer, and Krista Davis, Director of Energy Supply and Market Operations Strategy. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Chris, our flexible path is the overarching strategy on how we're going to move forward for innovative energy solutions, and the Flex Power Bundle is one of our key strategies to get there. Can you share the significance of the Flex Power Bundle and what it means to the future of power generation in San Antonio?
Yeah, I can, Rudy. And again, first of all, it's great to be talking with our community here on a Thursday evening. So thank you for setting this up, Rudy and Paula. The Flex Power Bundle is a significant step forward. It is a new and different way of thinking about how to bring power to our customers. In the old days, it was about building a big power plant. And the Flex Power Bundle, as Paula has said, is centered around solar, up to 900 megawatts of solar, up to 50 megawatts of battery storage, and up to 500 megawatts of firming capacity. And 900 megawatts of solar is a lot. It triples the size of our solar program, and we're already number one in the state of Texas, number 5 in the country. So we're going to be moving up once we get this bundle in place. So it is a big deal, and it's something that all of San Antonio can be very, very proud of. The Flex Power Bundle is there to replace some aging gas plants that run on gas fuel. And so, by doing the Flex Power Bundle, we will be reducing our emissions, reducing our carbon footprint, and really taking a meaningful step towards the city's climate action and adaptation plan. So it's going to be a win all the way around. I think Krista Davis, who's our lead executive on the program, will talk a little bit more about it. But we have received, and the bids were due on February 1st. We have received roughly 30,000 megawatts of solar capacity in these proposals. Again, a huge number. 2,000 megawatts of battery storage proposals of capacity, and 7,000 megawatts of firming capacity. So, we have a lot to look at. And again, credit to Rudy's team on the corporate communication side to really get the word out globally that this exciting thing is happening right here in San Antonio. So it is a big deal. It's going to be a very exciting year this year with the Flex Power Bundle. But to Paula's point, we need to be very thoughtful. This is not just adding a solar farm in West Texas. This is going to be used to replace existing plants. And so we need to make sure that the power is reliable, it's affordable, it's environmentally responsible, and all of the 6 pillars that we have in front of us. So we want to be very thoughtful through this process, and we're going to take our time to really look through these proposals and make sure we get the best possible deal for San Antonio. And we're very excited about it. And I'll let Krista share some more details on it.
Thank you, Chris. Krista, you've been involved from day one on this renewable energy journey, from stakeholder engagement to RFI and RFP criteria design. It's truly an exciting new chapter for CPS Energy. We reached out globally for energy solution proposals. Krista, where are we in the process, and what are some key highlights you can share with us tonight?
Thank you, Rudy. And thanks everyone for joining us this evening to hear about our flexible path strategy and our Flex Power Bundle. As Chris and Paula mentioned, this is a really big step for us, not only here in San Antonio for our community, but also just in the industry as technologies are continuing to evolve. So as Chris mentioned, we put out this RFP back at the end of November for the 900 megawatts of solar, the 50 megawatts of storage, and the 500 megawatts of firming. And he mentioned that it closed on February the 1st. I'm really excited to let everybody know and to announce just the overwhelming response that we received from all over the globe. We received 265 projects, more than 650 proposals, different proposals for those 265 projects from 99 companies here locally from around the globe. And so now the team is just really excited. We have a lot of data to go through. We're rolling up our sleeves now to begin that evaluation process. But as Chris mentioned, there's a lot of data to go through. We want to make sure that we're evaluating all of these responses to make sure that we are balancing that affordability, reliability, and that environmental responsibility for the energy that our customers have grown to love CPS Energy for delivering to them. And so we're hoping to start that evaluation process in the next week and roll up our sleeves, get really digging into the data, and hopefully finishing up that process by midsummer so that we can announce, what kind of projects we're going to be entering into the future to eventually replace those aging gas plants that Chris mentioned.
Thank you, Krista. You and the team keep up the great work. A lot of work ahead of us. So we just talked about our Flex Power Bundle, and now we want to hear from you in our first poll question. A reminder for those of you watching on our website, please refresh your browser to see the Q&A option. If you're on the phone, you can vote by pressing the corresponding number on your keypad. If you are online, you can vote by selecting your response below the streaming player. So here's the question. Our Flex Power Bundle is seeking to add more renewable resources to our portfolio, and we will triple our solar capacity. What is most important to you as our customer? Press 1 for low bills, which equates to affordability. Press 2 for reliability, which means availability of power when you need it. Press 3 for environmental responsibility, or press 4 for new product and service offerings. Again, press 1 for low bills, which equates to affordability. Press 2 for reliability, which means availability of power when you need it. Press 3 for environmental responsibility, and press 4 for new product and service offerings. We are also receiving questions online, and we're going to read one of those questions now. Question from Facebook. Can you explain rebates and how they work in assisting with installing solar panels? Again, I will turn it over to our expert, Mr. Rick Luna, and have Rick talk about our solar rebate program.
Thank you, Rudy. And absolutely, solar rebates are one of our most popular programs. So I'll just tell you that the simple basics of it is if you're interested in installing a solar system, we have a list of registered contractors on our website. We encourage you to go there. We encourage you to shop around. There's 70 plus companies in San Antonio that can install solar panels on your home or your business. they'll give you a proposal. Part of that will be a rebate from CPS Energy. And so we offer for a residential system $2,500. And if you use panels that are manufactured here in San Antonio, an additional $500. So up to $3,000 of the cost. Now, I will tell you, solar systems are expensive. They are a good investment, but they are expensive. And so we encourage you to shop around. If you have any questions, you need any guidance, give us a call at 353-2SAVE, SAV. Give us a call and we'll be happy to work with you through that process. And ultimately, we want to make sure you're happy with the purchase you make. It's a big commitment, but it's a good one for you and for San Antonio.
Well, obviously, our customers tonight are interested in our rebate program, so that's great. So I have the poll results from our first poll, and I wanted to share those with you. For all the folks who are on the phone with us and online with us tonight, we asked you for our Flex Power Bundle, what is most important to you as a customer? 45% said low bills and affordability were most important to them. 28% said reliability and your power being available when you need it is most important to them. 20% said environmental responsibility was their most important attribute. And 7% said new product and service offerings were important to them. So thank you so much for your participation in our first polling question. So going back to Mr. Rick Luna, who is our Director of Technology and Product Innovation, he's here to talk about our energy conservation programs, which obviously you're very interested in tonight. We describe energy conservation as that fifth fuel in our portfolio. We are repeatedly recognized for our award-winning energy conservation program, STEP. STEP began in 2009 and challenged us to reduce our community's energy demand by 771 megawatts by 2020, which is roughly the equivalent of a large power plant. We exceeded our STEP goal with 845 megawatts of savings 1 year ahead of time and significantly under budget. So Rick, tell us about what Flexstep is and why it's important for our community and the next step in the Flexstep process.
Absolutely, and thank you again, Rudy. So Flexstep is our strategy for continuing to encourage customers to save energy and save money. As the survey results indicated, customers are very interested in, how can I be most efficient in my budget? How can I, maintain affordability? Our STEP program has been one of the key ways that customers have been able to do that. So whether it's installing solar panels, like we talked about just a minute ago, a high efficient air conditioning unit, new light bulbs, all of these steps are critically important in helping reduce the amount of energy that we need in the community to serve your needs. Paula talked about balance. That's one of the ways that we provide balance to the community, is that we think about sources of energy, but we also think about saving energy and reducing the demand side. And that's really the Flexstep piece. And so we've had a lot of success in the community. Thank you for your participation. Because of our customers, we've got 25,000 solar systems deployed in the community, over 140,000 thermostats that customers have installed in their home, and many, many other things that you've done. But we know that the world is changing. New technologies are coming, better technologies. And so Flexstep is really about how do we pivot, how do we maintain the philosophy of STEP, but at the same time embrace change, the flexible path that Paula spoke about. And we really think Flexstep is sort of that vision for the future. So we've been on this path for a little while. We've been taking a lot of public input, gotten great ideas. There's an RFP coming soon where we're gonna basically ask the market, bring us the innovation. And so you'll be seeing Flexstep coming, and we're certainly excited about the opportunity and continue again for San Antonio to be a leader in showing that we can really make meaningful reductions in the energy that we use.
Thank you, Rick. We will keep our community updated on the progress of this exciting Flexstep future. So we're going to take another live call from our guests. Again, if you have a question, you can press *3 on your phone keypad at any time and you'll be placed in line to speak. After that, you'll hear your name, you'll be live on the call, and you'll be able to ask your question directly. If you're streaming the event on our website, You can simply type your name and question below the streaming player. Also, I want to remind everybody, if you have a question related to billing or a customer service issue, our dedicated energy advisors are on standby to help you at 210-353-2222. Our next caller is Mr. Alan Montemayor. Mr. Montemayor, are you with us tonight? Mr. Montemayor, are you with us tonight?
Hello, yes, I am.
There you are. Excellent. Well, welcome. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Please ask your question.
Well, I want to thank you guys for moving towards closing the coal plants. The information I hope you release at your board meeting tomorrow is long overdue, but we're really looking forward to it. Please rest assured that that is number one on our priority list, the Sierra Club, to peruse that and move forward. But not having that data right now, it's going to be hard for me to specifically ask any questions about it. So what I'd like to know is, how many vehicles do you currently have in your fleet? How many of them are electric vehicles? How many are going to be converted to electric vehicles in the future? And what are you doing for the citizens of San Antonio to make it easier for us to have electric vehicles? Thank you.
Very good. Paula, why don't I turn it over and then maybe we'll get an assist on this question from Dr. Chris Euster.
Yeah, I'll start. Well, we've been focused on our own fleet. We've done some hybrid vehicles and we've done some electric vehicles, both in terms of what our team uses as they go across town, as well as really trying to think about what we can do with our actual trucks. Now, the truck technology, which is really critical to making this transition for our fleets, it's not quite there yet, but it's coming. And so I would say that we don't have that many electric vehicles right now, but what we are doing is we are looking at the technology, we're studying it. We basically have already created a pilot rate because we know that we are able to encourage people to conserve energy, those that are actually also using the electric vehicles at the same time. So we're creating all the foundation for it within the programs that we have. We're preparing. What we need to have is a lot of collaboration with the car manufacturers. Interestingly, GM recently indicated that they were moving to electric vehicles. That is a huge statement. And so as we partner with the manufacturers of vehicles, that's when I think you'll see a whole lot more penetration going forward. But right now we're working on the foundation. We do have electric charging stations across town. We have I'd say about 150 charging stations across town. And then we have been partnering with certain organizations like VIA, where people can actually have charging while they park their car and then do the park and ride services. So again, right now it's about getting everything ready and the foundation. But we very much believe that CPS Energy's fleet needs to be electrified over time. The challenge again is we got to make sure that there are a lot more electric vehicles on the road. I believe right now there are less than 10,000 electric vehicles in San Antonio, but so there's going to have to be a tremendous more availability of electric vehicles, and we will participate and support that. We'll support other employers that are making that transition. So we're going to be ready to partner. And I don't know if Chris, you want to add anything.
No, Paul, I think you covered it well. We are very excited about electric vehicles. I think we're seeing strong growth even in the pandemic here with electric vehicles. I think our calculations is if everyone drove an EV in San Antonio, we would need about 17% more generation capacity to supply that electricity. But for us, the key is when those vehicles charge. And so we are developing a number of programs with Rick Luna's group around managed charging, where we can partner with the customer, just like our thermostat programs, so that there's an incentive to charge it maybe later at night, not just at 5 o'clock where we might see a peak. And if we can charge it later at night, it's less stressful on our infrastructure, and we potentially could charge it with more wind. There's a lot of West Texas wind overnight, and so there's a real win-win there if we can shape that charging over time. And we've got a number of different products and services that we are looking to bring out with our customers to incent that.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Paula, for your insights. And thank you, Mr. Montemayor, for calling in, for participating with us this evening. So you've heard Paula talk about our guiding pillars, and Chris, Krista, and Rick also touched on these pillars with the Flex Power Bundle and Flexstep information. It's time for our next quick poll question. If you're on the phone, you can vote by pressing the corresponding number on your keypad. If you're online, you can vote by selecting your response below the streaming player. We base our decisions on our guiding pillars, which is the most important to you in how we deliver energy. Press 1 for customer affordability. Press 2 for energy reliability. Press 3 for energy resiliency. Press 4 for environmental responsibility. Press 5 for safety. And press 6 for security. Again, press 1 for customer affordability. Press 2 for energy reliability. Press 3 for energy resiliency. Press 4 for environmental responsibility. Press 5 for safety. And press 6 for security. So we're now going to take another question from a live caller. And the caller is Miss Diane Carr with us tonight. Miss Carr, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
Well, you answered one of the questions, and that had to do with solar energy. So here's my second one with solar energy, and that is you talked about batteries. And I know these batteries, I think that you're talking about would be with your field source, like your wind or your solar fields and so forth, how to store that energy. But what about residents? Are you just looking that you buy all of our extra solar energy, or is there a product that you can have battery storage at the residence? I'm just new at all of this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your question. I'm going to ask Dr. Euster to talk a little bit about the innovation we're seeing through the Flex Power Bundle, and then maybe I'll turn it over to Rick to talk about our Flexstep programs and the innovation aspect of the new RFP. So, Chris?
Yeah, and I'll definitely be looking for an assist from my friend Rick Luna on this one. Energy storage is kind of the holy grail, for clean energy, because the sun is not shining all the time. It's overnight. Wind doesn't blow all the time, so it's an intermittent resource. So to firm it up, you've got to be able to store it so that it's there when our customers need it, and maybe the sun's not shining at that particular moment. So energy storage is a really important topic, and we're starting to see some really exciting innovation around energy storage, battery storage, long duration storage, where you can store power for 4 or 6 hours. The challenge is, how do you get to store for 8 hours or 24 hours or even longer than that? So there's still some thinking that has to go there, some development that has to go there, but we are starting to see some real products in the marketplace for energy storage, both at the utility scale as well as at the homeowners, at the resident or at the business. Tesla's got a power wall that you can install at your house, and there are other companies with similar types of products. So this is a pretty exciting area for us, both as a utility as well as a customer. And let me just call on Rick to talk a little bit about energy storage at a homeowner level and some of his thoughts there.
Thank you, Chris. The great question about energy storage. I think that is exactly in line with what we were talking about earlier with innovation and pivoting to the future. It's still early in the energy storage game in terms of residential applications. Chris was talking about some of the innovation that's happening now. It's really the big systems, but we know it's coming, and important things have to happen. Cost come down, technology improves, and we're seeing those trends begin to emerge. And so part of Flexstep is being ready for that. And so I mentioned an RFP. Part of what we're asking the market to bring us is solutions, and we think that storage with solar will be a part of that. And so we're excited I would say hold on. 1 to 2 to 3 years, it'll really start to emerge. And then I think 10 years from now, it'll really be a big part of everyday life to have storage at homes and businesses.
Okay, so Paula, you want to close us out on this question?
Yeah, I really appreciate the question from our customer on this one, because we do believe that individual residents can think about making their houses more reliable and really, lean into this environmental responsibility. But to only have a solar system and not ultimately have a backup system is a little bit more challenging. So I think she's right on target to where the trend in the industry will go. You can find some units for battery storage in homes currently, but I think you want to see more, as Rick said, more innovation come through, so the price will be even more affordable. And then when we do give rebates, then that you can get just the best value from that system. But the last thing I want to highlight is battery storage is amazing. There's the typical chemistry batteries that we see, lithium ion batteries that we have out there. And the great thing about them is they respond very fast. So they don't just work in individual big scale systems. They also work in homes as we discuss, but you can put them just about anywhere in your system to help with resiliency as a backup, as that resiliency pillar. When something happens, a storm, when somebody hits a pole and takes a power plant, depending on the design of the system and the ability for us to partner with other companies, that battery type technology can help us. The only challenge, or the biggest challenge other than price on the batteries right now, is that you have to use the energy and then recharge it. And so that time that you can actually get the charge off the batteries maximizes currently around 4 hours. And while that seems like a long time, there are storms that come in one after another. And so there could be gaps when you have your battery systems where you can't recharge it fast enough. And so the innovation has to come so we can get longer durations, and we have to be able to see that price come down. But the other thing I would say too is that's not the only type of energy storage out there. We want to do things like the Flex Power Bundle, so we can look at not just utility scale, but small systems, systems that go in your home, and ultimately encourage that technology to get better. It could be something very different in storage. It may not be a battery. It could be some other type of what we call chemistry. What I want to make sure that San Antonio, our customers, all of you know it, is this team is looking at those technologies, and we're going to explore them and try to bring you the best of breed over time.
Thank you, Paula. Very insightful. I want to come back to our second polling question. We asked you, we base our decision on our guiding pillars. Which is the most important to you and how we deliver energy? 42% said customer affordability was the most important to them. 28% said energy reliability was most important to them. 1% said energy resiliency was important to them. 13% said environmental responsibility. 7% chose safety, and 9% chose security. So again, thank you so much in participating in our surveys this evening. We have time for one more question before we close out tonight's event. And these questions are fantastic. And we're going to do an online question for Mr. David Cuellar. Mr. Cuellar, thank you for paying attention with us and being with us tonight and asking this really fantastic question, which I'm going to ask Paula to answer. What does the power bundle mean for the average customer? Does it lower costs? Does it give people the feeling? Does it give people the feeling the energy they use is environmentally friendly? Why should this be important to me?
Wow, we are getting the very best questions tonight. Why it's important, I think increasingly just energy is getting to be at the forefront of what we need to do to keep the city going 24/7, 365, no matter what. we have to make sure that we have a source of generating power or multiple sources of generating power. And then we have to make sure that we do all we can to get it to you and to your homes. When we do the Flex Power Bundle in particular, I do think a customer should feel like here we are and we're using more solar, which is more environmentally responsible. And we're doing it in a way where we're making sure that we are getting reliability. And we want you to know that we are making the right changes for the environment. We're making the right changes for your pocketbook. And we're looking at what I say is facts, physics, and the finance about it to manage all of that for you, but your opinions matter. And so that's why everything we do is we try to survey and make sure that you know what we're doing, that you give us indicators about your value, that you tell us that, where to prioritize, and that you feel conscientiously that your homegrown utility is here trying to put it all together in such a way where you can be proud of the efforts and the decisions that we make. Now, we, as Chris said earlier, we've got some older plants. Plants typically last about 55 years. They're what we call gas steam units. And that's about as long as they should last. And we need to move on to new technologies. We need to put in replacement power. So we're going to be able to move away from some fossil fuels and make sure that we do it in a responsible time over this decade. And then when we do it, we'll feel confident that we're doing it in the right way, not just replacing it with the same old technology, looking at ways to make it better and looking at ways to keep it affordable. In balance, the newer some of the technology is, the more expensive typically it is. But if you balance it all together and you get the very best pricing that you can, and you get the very best performance, and then you make sure that all of it's put together so it's a really reliable delivery, then again, you should always feel confident that you're going to have the power when you need it and as much as you need. So those are the things that we want to make sure that you know. I will want to add just, here, this is our first conversation about really looking at these new technologies. And we're going to do as many of these sessions with events and to make sure neighborhood associations, groups that want to hear more, ask us more questions. We're going to go out and make sure that we answer those questions for you, sir, and then make sure you feel comfortable about the decisions that we're making. And if nothing else, we can be more informed by you.
Thank you, Paula. We're coming to the end of our live event this evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for this important conversation. As Paula said, we're going to continue to find new ways to reach out to our community and continue having these important conversations as we chart our path forward for the future of energy in San Antonio. We appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and answer your questions. If you were not able to get your questions answered this evening, you can leave a voicemail after the event by simply staying on the call when we end, and you'll be able to leave a message. You can also send us an email at feedback@cpsenergy.com. Again, if you need billing assistance, please call us 210-353-2222. Our energy advisors are always ready and willing to help to all of our customers who call in to talk to us. We're going to host more of these events in the future to keep you informed on what we're working on and other important updates. Paula, I'm going to turn it over to you to close us out.
Well, the biggest thing we can say is that we are honored and privileged to serve you. And we know that what we want to make sure you have is the best. And that, again, our team is thinking about you. 2021 still has a lot of the pressure from 2020, and we are here for you. Yes, you can call us. We are also calling you. We're calling customers. We want to make sure you know about our programs, our other programs, not just how we're looking at the future, but how are we managing today? We have residential assistance. We have the ability to look at, is there a program that we have, a senior program, an affordability discount, credits, different things that we can do to partner with the city and the county to make sure, again, that we're thinking about your needs today. And again, the point is, we're thinking about what we need to do today, We're also thinking about how we're going to be able to better serve you in the future. Thank you so much for being our customers. Thank you so much for giving us feedback and joining us tonight. We tried to make it quick and succinct. We will follow up with you, and we will continue to be here to answer your questions so that we can do this together. We want to make San Antonio the place that you continue to want to get new energy solutions and make sure that you get them in the best way possible. We will help with that. We will help find that way. We will keep and remain flexible in our efforts, and we will make sure that we do the best things possible to better serve you. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Paula, Chris, Krista, Rick, and all of our customers for being with us tonight. Have a great evening.